It's trash day, I'm putting you out, it's trash day. Putting you out, it's trash day. Putting you out of my mind. It's trash day, I'm putting you out, it's trash day. I'm putting you out, trash day, I'm putting you out of my mind. Now I'm gonna clean up, now I'm gonna clean up, now I'm gonna clean up the house. I'm taking all your garbage, taking all your garbage, taking all your garbage.
It starts with some beer, so you shouldn't have fear. Two garbage guys with facts, but they both still have tact. It's that time at last for the best damn podcast. It's Can Crusher Day!
And welcome to Can Crushers, where it's two everyday garbage men talking wrestling, drinking beer. It's one garbage man fresh off of surgery and no beer. There's definitely not going to be any beer this week. First of all, I am not allowed. Two, I don't think I wanted a beer. If I could have a beer, it's just... There's just roughness and another reasons today, folks, and it's going to be a quick show, but it's not going to be a quick show because we have a lot of stuff pre-recorded as we kind of figured we knew what was going to go on today. As I'm not lying, I'm a hurting unit. I feel like King Kong Bundy, Uncle Elmer, Aj Kong, Awesome Kong are all standing on my genitalias. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. But it's for the best of business, and we'll leave it at that. So as you know, this weekend we were in Maryland. If you want to, you can go back and listen to the Shamrock Cup replay, and at the end of that, we have the new tournament that's coming out, which is pretty flippin' amazing. It is called the Can Crushers Legacy Tournament. It starts tomorrow at 9 o'clock, and it's going to run until probably Christmas. This is the biggest tournament we've ever had. Nonetheless, we've talked about that. And as I was driving home from Baltimore, illegally, I always do this. I check Facebook, or I check this, I check that, and I notice Facebook's blowing up about Asylum Pro Wrestling's own Crazii Shea, and he had an accident Saturday night in Elmore, and he had to be flown to Pittsburgh because the fireball just came right back into his face. Folks, this is unbelievable. This is where we stop the wrestling podcast, and reached out last night to one of his homeboys, Fleck, and I just can't do it any justice, so let's go to that recorded piece and hear what Fleck has to say about what's up for Crazii Shea and what's in the works for Eric and Alora. And now I'd like to welcome to the show Fleck. Fleck, this is such a horrible situation. You were there. What can you tell us about Eric and everything? I just can't say words. I really can't.
It's hard to talk about and see pictures of what happened, and especially when you see your brother going and dealing with it, it makes it that much worse. When it happened, I was actually in the locker room when it happened, and his son came running back. He's like, "My dad's face caught fire, but he's okay." And I'm like, "What?" And I went running to the back, and then he was running out of the ring and then to the back, and yeah, not a sight to see when your good friend is like that. Shea has blown fire, as many people know, for years, and he's used to that. Usually he has a stick that he blows into. This time he didn't, but that hasn't stopped him before, and unfortunately, it backdrafted into his face, and we have the result of what you see now.
Yeah, folks, if you have not seen the picture, look up Eric Shea, look up anything on Asylum Pro Wrestling. They have posted it there. It's rough. I didn't see the first 2 days, but he posted the picture on third day right on his Facebook, and it's tough to swallow, Fleck. It really is.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I was in the hospital that night, 5 hours after it happened. He actually looked way better than he does now. The skin all kind of, paled more, and it swelled up, and like we said.
Yeah, I was driving home from Baltimore, watching you guys on live. I really couldn't comment or anything, but just seeing him and Alora, and I want you to tell that story with Alora too, that people don't know. He did look better. I know that it's not better, but his skin looked fine. But now the days of coming and coming and coming, the healing is actually the hurting process now, right?
Yeah, definitely. He's said he's never felt more pain than he has now. And also that night, some people don't know, so the fire chief was taking Shea. They were on the way to the hospital, and Laura was falling in their Saturn, and a bear came out on the road, and their Saturn ran into it. So not only that happening with Shea, them getting in a car accident as well, everybody in the car was fine, but the car's total from that. And it was just like one thing after one thing and one thing after another. But, my boy Shea, he's resilient and in true fashion, so they life flighted him to Pittsburgh because there wasn't a burn unit in Elmore, so he was at West Penn Hospital. So I had to drive, 2.5 hours back to Pittsburgh, so they were a little bit in front of me. And I pull up at the garage park, and I'm, walking up to the entrance, and I'm like, no way. I'm like, there's Crazii Shea in a hospital gown with an IV in the arm, smoking a cigarette, walking the street. I'm just like, yep, that's my boy.
And that's when he's doing Facebook Live. Actually, when you pulled in, he's like, hey, I got to go. He cut off the first live that him and Alora were doing. And I thought the same thing. I'm like, man, this guy is the Incredible Hulk. He's whatever you can imagine. You just got your face burned off, but you're outside in a hospital gown having a cigarette. Damn, you're tough.
Oh, dude, we were cutting a promo on this douchebag security guard. He's like, yeah, the nurse told me not to let you out, blah, 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 blah. He's like, you're allowed to be in this area, but you can't walk down there. We're just like, I'm just like, you want to cut a promo on this rent-a-cop, Shea? Like, seriously, because you know how he is. He drove the nurses nuts. He had to get out. He didn't want to stay. They wanted to keep him, more than they did. He stayed overnight, but got out the next day, and they wanted to keep him longer. But he's like, no, I'm getting out of here. I'm like, they have no clue what they would have put themselves through.
Right. I was going to say that was probably for the best him leaving that night.
Well, the next morning.
Yeah. So let's talk about this big event. There's a huge event coming for the Shea family. Let's just put it like that. On August 24th in Clearfield, and you're kind of spearheading this as well, right? Well,
here's the actual truth that people. I said this once before in one of my lives, in case people haven't heard. So the honest truth was, me and Shea were already partnering up for a show on August 24th. Already had the Clearfield County Fairgrounds Building 1 already booked before this accident even happened. We were going to do a joint show. He does half the show, I do half the show, under one show. But, after this happened, I'm just, thinking, I'm like, there's no way, that has to be a benefit for Shea. So I made a few calls the next day, and I'm just like, hey, you guys in? You got my back with this? And then I'm just like, I was going to at first not tell Shea, because I know he's stubborn and would be like, no. And I'm just like, I called him up. I'm like, listen, brother, that show, we're doing a benefit. He's like, no, man, that's we're going to do a show, and that's what I'm like, no, you don't understand. You can't tell me no it's going to be a benefit for you, and we're going to raise as much money as we possibly can for you. I don't need to run a show for my own well-being. I do it because I love the business, and the thing that we pride ourselves in this business is the brotherhood. I know me and Shea both preach the brotherhood in our locker rooms, and we keep our locker rooms drama-free, and we focus on the brotherhood, and it is amazing the number of people who have came out. I have even people that aren't even wrestling fans that just know me personally, like, hey, is there anything I can do? I saw the video, can I help? And I'm just like, I'm astonished, and thank you everyone for reaching out and trying to help, and thank you for everybody that's going to be wrestling on the show, helping with the show, or coming to see that show. It's August 24th. The doors open 6, 7 p.m. is bell time. Like I said, Asylum Pro Wrestling, Shea's company, Code Red Wrestling, my company. We're putting on the benefit for Crazii Shea, and we're going to give it hell for our brother.
Yeah, along with that, I know some other guests here in the next couple of weeks, because this will be a continuing segment that I reach out to some of Shea's friends, have it be anybody on the roster that's has been touched by Shea, and then I'll get Shea on as well prior to the event. But I know there's going to be a bake sale, there's going to be a Chinese auction, raffle, whatever you want to call it. So, wrestling fans, I'm calling you out. If there's anything that Can Crushers is putting a basket together, if there's anything you would love to put in this basket that we can help Shea out, have it anything, a T-shirt, something, a gift card, send them in so we can put them in the Can Crushers basket and raise, as much money as we can for Eric and Laura to, get their life straightened financially, right?
And that's true, too. People don't realize that we're not just helping Shea, we're helping his family. Shea can't be in the sun right now. He can't work. He can't wrestle. I know he's going to want to wrestle August 24th, but we're going to have to not let him. But, yeah, they don't have a vehicle right now. So some of this money can help them get a vehicle, or, money towards a vehicle, something. There's always, he's 3 hours away from Pittsburgh in Clearfield, or 2 to 3 hours, just traveling back and forth to see the specialist. Just gas money alone for that is just, stuff takes its toll. We're not just doing it for Shea, we're also doing it for his family.
Yeah, and we're actually in the early stages. Recording-wise of this, we're 5 days out of what happened, so we really don't know. There might be more procedures needed. Is that not correct, Fleck?
Shea did tell me that they might have to skin graft. They don't know yet with the swelling and stuff like that. They need to wait until that settles down to see. There's 2 areas on him that they were worried about that could be problem areas. I don't know if it's a definite or if it's like, hey, if he wants to do it or not. I don't know. Majority of it, I think he's okay, but there was some areas that were deeper burns, so they want to take care of those areas. So we'll find out in the next couple of days if he's going to need surgery or not. Yeah.
So just a rough, you call it an accident. You just don't know. You just don't know where the next minute takes you. And Fleck, his first match, fire's coming right back out of his mouth. You know that, right?
I cannot tell him what to do on the joint show, but any Code Red Wrestling show, I will not let him breathe fire at.
Yeah. When it's not a joint show, though, the son of a bitch is crazy, and that's why we love him.
The funny thing is, that night that I was put through, or attempted to be put through, a table that was lit on fire, and I walked away from that fine. But it's stuff that you don't think can happen. It happens, and
right?
We're crazy. We are crazy. We put our bodies on the line under any circumstances, and this is going to make him even crazier than he was before. If you thought that this did even put a damper on on Shea, no, he's going to be back. He's going to be breathing bigger fireballs, jumping off bigger buildings, doing crazier things than he ever did before. Because I mean, that's Crazii Shea. You don't just get that nickname. You earn that nickname.
Yeah, it literally runs through his blood. It really runs through his blood. Fleck, anything else you wanna tell the fans out there? Anything else about how they can help Shea or anything?
I know we have PayPal set up, and there's a GoFundMe, and I know Sean Hardy has T-shirts that they're selling for donations. I believe he's working on a benefit in Delaware for Shea as well. There's a lot of people reaching out, a lot of people doing stuff. Just pay attention to Facebook so where you can help out. And just a side note about Shea, anybody that doesn't know him, the kind of brother that Shea is, if he had his last dollar, he would give it to you, and then he'd go find a way to go get you another dollar. We're not just helping somebody that had an accident. We're helping somebody that's helped others, that will do it for you and has done it for others before. Pay it forward, guys.
And he'll continue to do it. He's literally booking a card for himself to take the money and give it to somebody else, I'm sure. He really is. You know that's going to happen, Fleck.
Yeah, but I'm going to yell at him. He's taking all the money, and it's going to he's going to take care of his family, because I'm going to yell at him if he does anything else with it.
Nice. Hey, real quick, before I let you go, can you announce anybody that you have already signed on the card? I know there might be a pretty big one that's pretty elite.
Well, let's go with that one last. So, obviously, I'm on the show. Slice is on the show. Shadow's on the show. Trevor Gage, Johnny Cross, Johnny Malloy. I'm sure Laura will be doing something on the show. Who else do we have? We have Riot City will be on the show, and I think they may have heard her name before. I mean, I think recently she's signed a contract with somebody that's pretty big now. Nyla Rose agreed to help out her brother and be on the show.
So she's all in to do the show with you guys.
Well, with that full pun, yes, she's all in.
Yeah, I get it in every game, every show I get it in. All right, Fleck. Thank you for stopping by, and I'll maybe reach out to you in a couple weeks to see what else is going on. Also want to reach out to some of the other brothers that is going to help carry this torch for Shea.
Definitely. Thank you, everyone involved, everyone helping. You guys have been amazing. I know Shea is more than grateful. Me from the bottom of my heart, like it means a lot. I was just trying to help out a brother, and seeing everybody else step up, it truly is amazing, guys. I appreciate it.
So there you have it. Kind of an update on Eric Shea. As I said, we are going to continue to reach out to people that are going to be around Eric to find out what's up. Reach out to Eric as well, but I know we just don't want to bother Eric. Eric needs a time to heal. He really does. And Shea, I know you're going to listen to this. You need the time to heal. You can come on Can Crushers whenever the hell you want, and you know that, but take the time to heal. Maybe we'll reach out to you the week before this benefit show that's set up, and you can give your props and your thanks to everybody. But I personally want you to just sit back and do what is needed for you. Fleck and I kind of bounce back and forth on that. That you give the shirt off your back, but this time you need to keep that shirt on, buddy. And this is going to be all for you. So, yeah, guys, it's linked in the comments and everything. Eric Shea's PayPal, if you'd like to do it that way, or his GoFundMe. This one hits home. Eric Shea and I have worked since his first show together, and it's something that if you can pay back and go to that wrestling show, if you pay the full price of, $15, $20, whatever it is off the get, do it. That money's going to Eric. If you can bring something to sell during the Bake Fest that you can donate, do it. Again, if you want to donate something that we can put in the Can Crushers basket, get a hold of us on Facebook or at our email, cancrusher69@gmail.com. We'll set something up to, if you ship it to me and you're in California, you pay for shipping, I'll send you the money right back. That's what it's going to be about. This is what it is. This is how we're going to make it work, that we just need to do something for Eric. And like Fleck said, he's probably going to go back out there and instantly do the same spot over again in time, because he's crazy. He is outright crazy. So continue to keep Eric and Laura in your thoughts and prayers as we move forward. Lots of wrestling this past weekend as we get into the in-ring stuff now. And you heard us talk about Shamrock Cup in the special already. Soup's going to come up here in a minute. He's going to bring you the IWC report. Guys, I'm prefacing this and saying this is going to be a long episode, but there's a lot to get into it. And I'm not going to lie to you. Guess what I did not watch? I did not watch Evolve. Can we cover Evolve next week? Probably, because there's not as much wrestling this coming weekend. So maybe we'll dive into Evolve because it's on the network. And I definitely want to watch it because Adam Cole, baby, is on it. So the English professor takes care of Fight for Fallen for us. So that's good. This is all just going to be put together. All I have to do this week, legitimately, in its totality, is talk about Raw, SmackDown, and Extreme Rules. So, I'm going to get to going right off the bat with Extreme Rules, and then Paul's just going to have to pay up, because Paul owes us beer. Once again, Paul owes us beer, so Paul decides not to come today. No, with me just getting out of the hospital, running a little bit late, Paul actually double booked himself to help his dad in this side or the other. Then he's got to go lift and work out because he's a fancy lad like that. So he just didn't want to actually come and see what's going on with me down there. So I was shocked to see Nakamura defeating Balor for the IWC title on the pre-show. So does this work? For me, it works. It really does work because I think this is where, and this is all prior to Monday, Tuesday night. Let me just say that. I think this works because now you can get Finn to join the club. And he needs to join the club. I think he needs just that extra little push of what's going on in Finn's wrestling life. So getting the title off of him, getting with AJ and Gallows and Anderson, I think it works. But we do then find out that Finn actually wants time off, and he's going to be fed to Bray. This is just going to be a culmination of Raw, SmackDown, and Extreme Rules, folks. That's just the way I'm going to do it today. I really got to get to the bag of peas down in the nether regions. So it's going to be quick and easy. So, yeah. The Cruiserweight match on Extreme Rules, Nice looked like he was a beast. I really thought it was going to go back to Nice. That was my pick. Gulak at home, because I'm always one, WWE does not like to give hometown wrestlers the win most of the time. Well, Gulak actually got the win, and he kept the title. Next up to start the show was Roman Reigns and The Undertaker against Shane and Drew McIntyre, and throw Elias into the mix. And this match did what it needed to do. It extended the story a little bit. I don't know. Do I really think it was a great match? No, but it was better than Goldberg Undertaker, so at least you get that taste out of your mouth with The Undertaker and Goldberg. And kudos to, The Undertaker and saying, hey, it's your yard. Kind of passing the torch. It's been passed 1,600 times already. The Raw Tag Team Championship match, the Usos and the Revival. I know what they're trying to do here. I really do. They're trying to make this probably one of the best matches in the world, but I've seen it too much. I really have seen it too much now that I really don't care about this match anymore. They're two of the greatest tag teams out there. They really are. But when you see it with a 6-man, or you see it with, an 84-man tag team, you see it just so many different ways that when it breaks down to it, you always end up with the Revival and the Usos in that 84-man tag team match being the last two teams. I think they both need to go a different way. They really do. I understand Mrs. English Professor is going to probably throw me in lockdown in a penitentiary, but I need a break from both of these teams. I'm happy one of them are the tag team champions, have it be the Revival or the Usos, but this is not a storyline that has been written well, so move it along. Aleister Black and Cesaro, we see this 2 times within 3 days. And Black gets the win both times. They're building him back up. Cesaro's great. He's a Swiss Superman. He's whatever you want to call him. But, yeah, just not... Cesaro's just not the man that Aleister Black needs to fight right now. I think he needs a bigger man, maybe like a Randy Orton-esque. I'd like to see that because they're both dastardly. There's going to be a lot of dastardlies because in Soup's IWC report, it's unbelievable how many times he says that. A match that was a wash, even though I am a hugger and I love Bayley. The women's championship match, the Smackdown championship match, did nothing for the storyline of Bliss and Nikki. It really didn't. Bayley gets the win. Bleacher Report didn't even grade it as a great match. So, last man standing match. Guys, I fell asleep. I'm not going to lie. I saw that Braun won. I did not go back and watch it. From what I've read, Lashley did sound like a stud. But just a match that I have given up on with these two. So hopefully they're done. They had a little run-in together on Raw during that Battle Royal, which was garbage as well. Yeah. Next up, you have the Triple Threat Championship match for the SmackDown titles, and this was shocking. I know Paul would have been excited to see Otis and his stakes and weights win. I would have expected that more. Or I would have expected the Planet's champions to keep the titles. I really didn't see New Day. New Day! Oh, man, that hurt. That hurt. I really didn't expect New Day to win these titles. And they did. So New Day now owns SmackDown. Yeah, they got the WWE title and SmackDown titles as well. So that's kind of a shocking move. Ricochet and AJ, this title is just going to go back and forth. Magnum TA has to be disgusted with how this U.S. title has been used since the dawn of time coming to WWE. This title, they shit on it every week. Nothing against AJ, nothing against Ricochet. It's just that this title changes hands almost as much as the 24/7 title. Yep. So, great match. Probably one that stole some of the show from others. And you saw Styles getting a huge push with the club. So, yeah. Kevin Owens beats Ziggler. That's all you need to know. That match is over already. I'm not even going to get into it. It sets up for more on SmackDown as well. They have... it's going to be a good feud. It really is. You also have Miz getting thrown into the mix with Ziggler. So, Kofi keeps the title. We already went over that, as we said that he defeated Samoa Joe. This is where it comes to being everybody gets pissed off. Seth and Becky keep the titles over Baron and Lacey, so they're officially not number one contenders or in the title hunt anymore. Big spot out of this. End of days given to Becky Lynch, so a lot of people giving WWE heat for that. And after all is said and done, we have a new Universal Champion in the form of Brock Lesnar. Guys, when Paul Heyman makes promises, he continues to hold on to those promises. Real quick Raw and SmackDown, because we got lots to do. There's a 10-man battle royal, and guess what? Seth Rollins wins that. So now he's the new, again, number one contender for the Brock Lesnar Universal Championship. Great. Let's just keep this storyline going over and over and over. 2 out of 3 falls match. I'm really sick of them. Big thing I do want to say is, hey, congratulations to VSK. VSK, we saw you Saturday night at the Shamrock Cup, and Monday night you are getting your ass pummeled by the War Raiders. So, nice to see that, a Long Island boy. Drew against Cedric. Cedric gets the win again. He should just be a janitor. He really should. I'm really sick and tired of the 24/7 stuff with Drake and Renee, especially on the honeymoon. It just wasn't what I wanted it to be or what it needs to be. R-Truth doesn't need to win it in a bedroom as they're ready to cut. It's just getting stupid. Hopefully next Monday at Raw Reunion, a legend wins it, and it's taken away for a while. That I wouldn't mind. Zack Ryder makes an appearance on the show and gets the win. Great. Maria and Mike can go back to 205, and then hopefully 205 gets canceled. Mel and Nat, Bliss and Naomi. The winner gets to take on Becky at SummerSlam. And this was shocking to me that Nat won this. It really was. Again, Miz TV, Dolph and Miz setting something up. Kind of fighting over Cleveland and how Cleveland rocks again. And yeah, Raw, not the best of Raws. And then when you just continue on to SmackDown, not the best of SmackDown either. I missed a lot of SmackDown, and I didn't miss anything. I was getting ready to talk to some wrestlers, getting some interviews set up, like I said, because of today and the whole just surgery. The whole surgery is more or less. So I did as much as I could last night. Shane has a town hall, and if you want to watch it good, it sets up some matches for SmackDown. It's setting some stuff up for later on down the line. Roman pretty much calls him a bitch. Charlotte loves him. Liv Morgan is finally seen on TV, and she's going to be gone again for a while. Vega and Almas and Elias love them. I don't know. It was stupid. It was 25 minutes of nonsense. As we said, Alistair gets another quick win over Cesaro. After the Flair and Liv match, Liv grabs the mic off of Corey Graves' head and said, yeah, you're right, I'll come back when I'm going to be real or something like that. So hopefully we get to see Liv. This is all breaking up the Riot Squad type of deal thing. I think Ruby still a little bit away from coming back. And you saw Sarah Logan really pushed as her Viking persona. So the Riot Squad's going to be gone. So hopefully Liv gets a quick repackage and becomes something, because great in-ring talent she has. This next segment was ridiculous. New Day's out, and the African American leprechauns, because they hold all the gold. Everybody and their brother comes out. Daniel and Rowan leave, and then Elias, Randy, and Joe come out and have a 6-man match. Nonetheless, it was just way too much. Randy gets a win over Kofi, so expect him to have a match here at SummerSlam with him. R-Truth is stuck in a washing machine. Cruz gets a win over Almas. The Kabuki Warriors win via countout, so this is going to be a rivalry. Goes on for a while with the Iconics, and then you have to see the Kabuki Warriors getting these titles real quick. And KO and Dolph Ziggler match pretty much turns into nothing as stunners sent all around. So there's WWE. We're going to head over to a segment that has been recorded with Chad about MLW. We'll take a quick break. We'll get the OV Dubs report. Get some IWC. Guys, I told you it's going to be long. See you in a minute. Well, it's time again for... we need to get you a nickname. You're not a professor. I don't know, whatever. But it's time for the MLW segment of Can Crushers. Welcome Chad back. And Chad, this show had 3 matches on it. But it was amazing.
It was a really good flowing show. Not too much of your vignettes, your talking, everything like that. In-ring action. It just flowed a lot better than a lot of shows.
Not a lot of fluff. Is more or less what you're saying. Just action and something that makes sense for all storylines across the board for MLW. And the main event, it was half of the show, and it's one that it's going to carry on forever. But we'll get there. Go ahead.
Your first match that led off was Ace Austin versus Airwolf, who is a guy that wears a mask. And his whole jest behind the mask, I found out, is he doesn't want people seeing his expressions and what to expect. He wants to seem unexpected to everybody. This was their second match in the series. Austin had asked for a rematch because he felt when Airwolf beat him before that it was a fluke. So he's playing up the bad guy scenario of, you couldn't beat me on your best day.
But this started because Airwolf is only 18 years old. Austin is 22. And Cornette said this to tell a storyline. If it's true or not, I love where it's going. The 18-year-old's making more money than the 22-year-old, so he's pissed off. Is where the whole feud came from.
Yep, that's the storyline that they're pushing.
I love that. That's a great old-fashioned storyline. It's not because I slept with your mother, I did this. You make more money than me, I don't like it.
And I think I'm better than you. So
right.
It was just their storylines just tie everything in. It's not stupid stuff. It makes sense. It's believable stuff. It's just not ridiculous stuff like other places push for storylines.
One move that I wrote down that it was very lucha. Those two, they're very lucha. Airwolf runs up the turnbuckles and flips and does an enziguri and drops Austin. Boom. Right? I mean, you've seen stand-in ones, you've seen them before, but not literally running up the turnbuckles and just flips over. It was great. These two...
They complemented each other. It flowed really well. It didn't. Again, they just weren't. One wasn't standing there waiting for the other to set up his move, and that they flowed together. It looked in place. It didn't look. None of their stuff looked out of place.
No, there was no big move, rest, break. Big move, rest, break. It was all, like you said, it flowed. Austin got the win, which sets up for a third match.
For a third match in the series. He got the win by
Hook or crook.
Hook or crooked. He hooked something of Airwolf's with the expandable cane that he carries, and when the referee wasn't looking, and that's how he got the 3 count. So
I didn't even see him grab the cane. I really didn't. I don't know how he got it that fast.
It was quick. Like I said, they just pulled it off. The referee didn't see anything. The fans were yelling the whole time, but they just shot it perfectly because you didn't know quite what was going on till after he cracked him in the family jewels.
Oh, the family jewels. That's what this whole show is about. Next up.
Something outside of the wrestling that they pushed, or I should say that they had on there. This Selena De La Renta, her thing is she's pushing that she has dirt on Conan. It is what it is storyline-wise, but this girl, other than being gorgeous,
right?
She is just pulling this off like she is a veteran. Not screaming, everything like that. She just has the presence about her that she's pulling this off, and it's believable. It's not like we've seen other places where it's made to be ridiculous, and you're kind of wondering, okay, what are they going to pull? What are they going to pull with her?
And she's young, too. She's only 22, 23, I think I read.
22, I believe.
Okay. And, yeah, she's going for this golden ticket, which I don't know what the golden ticket does.
I have not been able to figure it out. They haven't gone really into depth about it that I have seen. They're just little by little details. My best guess is that it's some kind of version of Money in the Bank,
the reset button like we see,
something like that. But they haven't really gone into details about it, or I haven't seen it if they have.
I didn't see it recently. So she sends a horde of people, more or less. Ricky Martinez. She talked to Conan, Io, La Parka. All of them kind of got beat by Vance Ward. Yeah. And he was after her then. So the last time we saw her is he was running away from Vance.
I don't know what to say about her. Sorry, I'm just enamored with her.
You love her, is what it is.
I'm going to put her on the scale, looks-wise, and having the it factor. And this is probably going to catch some flack, but
apologize to your wife before you say it, then it's okay.
She reminds me of the way Sunny was.
Wow. Sunny back in the day, yes, we agree. Nowadays,
not so much. Sunny, when she was in the WWE and Smoky Mountain, in that she had it as the female. She was the best talker in the business, and she was definitely very easy on the eyes.
We'll get to my girl from MLF here in a minute. Next matchup, though, is Low Key against Dominguez?
Ariel Dominguez.
Okay.
Low Key's running, the program they're running with him is he's a knockout specialist. He's ending his matches, referee stoppage, knocking the guy out. Various ways, brutal running knees, shining wizards, doing the stomps to the back of the head, everything like that. So that's what they were pushing with him. Dominguez, another up-and-comer, playing the storyline, hey, can this younger guy upset him? Can he hang with Low Key? Yeah, he didn't. It was semi-short.
Semi-short. Your analysis of the match was longer than the match was.
Yeah, it was.
Boom.
He was out, and they're playing it well. They're setting him up, and of course he's a bad guy with this persona. So not quite sure where they're going. If I was to guess, they're probably going to go after one of the Hart Foundation, probably Pillman Jr. I'm thinking. Don't ask me why. I just got that feeling.
Okay.
Because I think those two match up really well.
And nice segue, because this brings us to the main event right off the get. 3 matches. It's a ladders match. It's the Dynasty against the Hart Foundation for the tag team titles.
Right. Little background into this. They've been chiding back and forth in weeks past. Couple of weeks ago, the Dynasty, specifically MJF, stole one of the tag team belts when they attacked them on stage, and they were parading that around. Then Teddy Hart and Davey Boy Smith Jr. enlisted Brian Pillman Jr. for the match, and Pillman Jr. He's a perfect replica of his dad.
Loose cannon. He really is.
You just don't know where the hell he's coming from. Now, I could do without the long, blonde, flowing hair, but it is what it is. He's a really good athlete. Real good up-and-comer. So, they get into the match, and the match was actually MJF and Holiday against Pillman Jr. and Teddy Hart. And if y'all remember Teddy Hart from before, he's jacked now.
He's ripped.
He's got his, I can't think of what the word is. He's got his moves down. He's a lot more crisp. It's not just, 2-3 moves, rest, like Mark alluded to a different match earlier. It's just, he's a lot more flowing. And you can argue, is that the wrestler or is that the creative letting them do it, or is it both?
I would say it's both with this MLF. I really do. I think both of them are just gelling together well. And there's people that maybe won't move up to AEW or wherever. I think they just stay in MLF and make it amazing.
Yeah, and they may not move up right away, but if they build themselves up, if they, they're a couple of years, get more experience and stuff like that, hopefully they don't, succumb to Vince's open wallet that seems to be going on.
You see a lot of them, though, going the other way to AEW.
Yep.
So I hope they have the partnership, most definitely with MJF.
Right. And MJF, again, if you don't know who he is, you get out from under your rock. This guy's the best in the business of the young guys, promo-wise, everything. And he did it again in their vignettes and in this match. The dude is just, I hate to use the term, but he's money. That's all there is to it with him.
He is, and this is where my girlfriend from MLW comes in, Ariel Blake. She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
She is unbelievable. The stuff that she does, too, she's just not a valet. She was in the ring. She was doing some cross-body blocks. She was all over the place. She took a beating as well.
Yeah, she, toward at the end of the match, actually, Holiday and Pillman Jr. were fighting on the ladder, climbing up to get the belts, to unlock the belts, and she was trying to climb on Pillman Jr.'s back, and they're probably, what'd you say, 3/4 up the ladder?
Yeah, without a doubt.
And Pillman Jr. just clocks her, and he doesn't, they make it like he doesn't realize who he was hitting, and she took that bump off of that ladder like a pro. I mean, it wasn't like, and she caught herself or rolled or anything. No, it was like she got,
it was an Edge bump.
Knocked out.
It was, if you want to, compare it to, it was like Edge falling off of a ladder. It really was.
I mean, I was watching it and I was like, that did not look good. But she did not suffer any, injury from it or that. She made it look that good.
In the winners of the match, I love it.
MJF and Holiday. Like I said, Holiday got up there after Pillman Jr. knocked her off his back. Holiday got a chair and co-cocked Pillman Jr. and reached up and grabbed the belts.
Yeah, he was the only one alive, more or less, at the end of the match. Tables and ladders and chairs, oh my. This ladder match is one that I'm going to put up there with all-time great ladder match. I mean, it was a half an hour, and they worked for a half an hour. There wasn't 4 guys laying around for 10, 15 minutes doing rest holds or anything. They worked the whole half an hour, and it was great.
And what I liked about it, and I would definitely agree with you, up in the, I'd say probably top 3 of all time, is the spots weren't overly thought out. They weren't, oh, let's stack 3 tables and this guy who I just slapped in the face is going to lay here and wait for us to do it. It was quick. It was set up.
It wasn't a spot fest.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you have to have that kind of stuff in the match, but it wasn't overly done. And like I said, it flowed. And this is probably getting tired of hearing me say this and that, but they are, all their matches, everything like that, it doesn't look clunky. It doesn't look, half-assed, so to speak.
No, you can say that loud and proud.
They just flow, and it looks good, and it's just not overdone. I can't say it enough. I don't care that they don't have the humongous names, the $1 million, $2 million a year earners and stuff like that. I want to see wrestling. I want to see action. Throw in a little bit of talking just to piss the fans off and get heat or to get sympathy on the baby faces. But let's get to wrestling.
And that they do that here. After an hour, the show's over now. Boom, show's over, and you want more. And you want more. And you can watch this on YouTube as it premieres 7 o'clock every Monday. I was actually waiting for it. I fell asleep, so I watched it today. But nonetheless, watch this before Raw, and you will be going to bed early.
Yeah.
You will turn Raw off and not worry about it because an hour and they have you hooked. Damn it, I want to know what happens next week now. Because what did Fatu do? What did what the hell? Anybody?
Yeah, you
Hammerstein.
want their storylines are keeping you. They're keeping you intrigued. It's not, oh, okay, here comes Brock Lesnar. Oh, he's going to do one of 2 of his moves that he does. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know who's going to come out to save who. You don't know who's going to attack who. It's wide open. And again, it reminds me of the old NWA in the mid-'80s where, okay, you may have rule breakers, fighting the good guys and beating the hell out of them. Well, then somebody has a problem with the rule breaker, so they're going to come down and attack them. It's like everybody has their own little section there, whether it's MJF and Holiday, the Hart Foundation,
the Contra.
They all hate
the faces. They're all good.
They all hate each other, and that's what they're playing on. It's like nobody there is, I want to say, buddy.
Yeah. To stay with the NWA as we wrap this up, you have the Horsemen. That's a dynasty. You have the Hearts. I don't know, maybe the Koloffs. Okay? They're bad. And then you have the Contra, which are Paul Jones's group. If we're going to put segments together, relationships together so people can understand where this is going if they haven't watched it yet, nobody liked Paul Jones's group. Not one person.
But they were devastating when they were the
Yeah.
big guys. When they got in there, you knew you were going to get your ass kicked.
Right.
You knew you were going to get thrown around.
So, anything else you want to say over the weekend? I know there was a ton of wrestling. We've watched it. This is going to be a 4-hour probably podcast if we cover it all. But I'll give you some time. Anything that you really sparked your interest other than...
Two things come up that stand out. I bought the Impact pay-per-view and watched that. Something just kind of told me you should get this. Probably be worth it. I was not disappointed. Tessa Blanchard and Sami Callihan. I would honestly put that as top 3 for match of the year candidate through any place.
And it's all on Tessa.
And it's all on her. You can see, depending on what she's doing, you can see either Magnum in her or Tully Blanchard in her. She's just great. I don't know how else to put it.
I hope, Tessa, if you ever listen to this, you never go to the WWE.
Please don't.
That's one.
And
go to AEW, stay with Impact, run the Indies, go to New Japan. She will get ruined.
Any place but WWE.
Yeah.
Because if you're not a home-built WWE product, you're most likely not going to get a push, and especially as a woman, well,
okay,
you know what goes on there.
Next.
The last one, and this is my little spiff. I literally, at the end of Extreme Rules, when Brock Lesnar come out and won the title, and not because I'm a Seth Rollins fan, I literally just screamed because it's like, why? I hate Baron Corbin. I would rather have seen them have Baron Corbin take the title. Brock Lesnar's not going to be there to wrestle all the time. I don't care what they say. His UFC stuff is online for him to get in there early in the year.
Yep.
It's
SummerSlam, and then he's out until.
Yeah, it shows that Vince McMahon is way too out of touch and doesn't care what anybody else thinks, because a title being put on somebody who's held it 85% of the time and defended it 5% of the defenses, there's a problem. But
all right, that's Chad's stick of the week, and he'll be back next week. We're wide open next week when recording, as somebody will be off from work, so we have an open days.
Open days.
So, Chad, thanks again for MLW. We'll catch up with you again next week.
Sounds good. We'll see you then.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
Hey, this is Megan Bain, the OVW Women's Champion, and you're listening to my favorite podcast, Can Crushers, so tune in, and I hope you like it.
So our OVW results this week come to you by OVW Mania and Brian. Brian, thanks a lot. You wrote these up and kind of give us a little bit of what's going on. Still not up on YouTube or on the network, and again, want to get our show out so I can get some peas on the nuggets. It is called a Midsummer Nightmare Tournament, and just from seeing some of this, I'm going to go back and watch it. I'm not going to lie. Just from seeing this, starts with Category 5, Corey Storm. He defeats the real deal, Randall Floyd. That match had to be iconic. It really did. Corey's so young. Randall is so experienced. And this is them working back and forth. Handshake at the end of the match, so you like that. So Category 5 moves on. Another part of the tournament is Drew Hernandez against Brandon Espinoza. Both of these guys are dastardly. Both of them kind of do bad things to get wins. And Drew does, I'm sure. So he moves on as he hits a kick below the belt and the ref doesn't see it. I would have to imagine that Daniel Spencer being the referee in this match then. Anything that's not seen in OVW, it's Daniel Spencer's fault. I don't care if he's the ref in the match or not. He's just that way. Another match is the Category 5, Corey Storm again. He defeats Amon. man, I really like Amon. I really do. I know he's been around to get, and Corey Storm is just this young buck coming up, ready to take over the wrestling world, but I really want to see Amon do something. I really do. I want to see him get back in the title hunt. Maybe get that Anarchy title going again, and he deserves a title. I really love Amon, and he needs a push. The great Dustin Jackson takes on Drew Hernandez, and he gets the win. So this is all setting up for a huge main event. If you've put 2 and 2 together, who's going where? Dustin wins with the splash from the top rope, 1, 2, 3. Hip Hop Valerie Berman comes out and asks Meg if she's ready to fight, more or less. She wants a match, and maybe it'll be set up at the next Saturday Night Special. But you have to watch Valerie. You really do. And then you have the final match of the Midsummer Nightmare Tournament, and it's the great Dustin Jackson against Category 5, Corey Storm. Justin Smooth comes out and is going to sit at commentary. Ted McNaylor and Brittany Deveray also leave the ringside area because Smooth has just been running roughshod over both of them. And Dustin Jackson gets the win as he hits a cutter off the corner for the 3 count. Smooth gets into the ring, though, and Category 5, it gives him business. He's like, hey, man, I can take you too. Dustin Jackson has had this chance already, so hopefully we get to see a huge match between Category 5 and Justin Smooth at the next SNS. So, yeah. All right, guys, here comes Soup with your IWC report from this past weekend, followed by John. He's going to bring a little bit about the Fight for the Fallen, and then I'll be back to wrap this up as well. And we're welcoming in IRS Soup, my boy, my cousin. He was in Elizabeth this weekend as I was down at MCW with the rest of the nerd herd. And IWC, I hate missing these, but when we get welcomed into another federation, we have to go. That's why we have you, Soup. What the hell happened in Elizabeth?
Another great show as always. I was impressed as always. A lot of good talent there. I want to say, that I listened to the recap of the Shamrock Cup. Sounded like a good time that you and Pat had. And plus, I'm very intrigued with this new Can Crusher tournament that's coming up about the Wrestling Legacy. So I can't wait to vote for that. But all in all, IWC was a great night on Saturday. Yeah, stop there for a minute. The Legacy tournament, as we talked about a little bit to open the show. Pat, sorry, I called you Pat. Soup. I'm not rated X. I'm just here for taxes. That's it. I finally put 2 and 2 together. The first round is going to be over a month long. Wow. The people in this, and this is unbelievable. We've been writing some stuff down already, the English professor and I, the matchups. As we did it on air, I really didn't look at them, but I've looked back now, and this is going to be the greatest tournament of wrestling history. Oh, yeah, I was listening at work today, while I was doing some taxes, and just some of the names in this tournament, I'm like, wow, just in some of these matchups, I'm very intrigued. I can't wait. Nice. All right, let's get to IWC. All right. First off, we had the Facebook free-for-all match that started out the pre-show. You got the IWC Longstead and Jimmy Vegas against Xander Gabriel, who says his best friend's Bulk Nasty, who's been a big thorn in Vegas' side over the years, a big rivalry there. So the two, had a decent match. Xander, he's a rookie that just came out of the academy there and held his own for a little while, but then Vegas, he's the veteran, too strong, too big, hit the angle slam, and was able to get that 1, 2, 3 to start the night off and get the fans going. Xander is really saying that Bulk Nasty is his friend. Bulk doesn't have any friends. Yeah, I've seen some videos they put out on Facebook, and Bulk doesn't seem to be so close to Xander. Xander thinks he's close to Bulk. So it is going to be interesting to see where this leads off into the future.
And he's a hell of a worker. I did see some of his matches, some of the clips and everything. I'm excited to see Xander when we make it back to IWC. So,
yeah, he's good build, big dude in his own right, and yeah, like I said, he held his own against a guy who's been around in IWC for many years. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can build from here and try to get a W next time.
Nice.
Well, then the main show started, and after last month's shocking end, where we crowned a new IWC World Heavyweight Champion, Jackson Argos was thrown a championship extravaganza, bonanza, celebration, coronation ceremony, balloons, streamers. They even had his two Rookie of the Year trophies out there. And IWC started off, they had their video package showing what's happened all the way back from January. It reloaded where Argos got the reset button all the way through the Super Indie tournament and him cashing in the button just to show what has led up to this past Saturday. Then you hear some scuffling going on in the back, like, hey, I don't want to do this. And then you hear Argos say, yeah, you got to go do it. If you want to get paid, go do it. Next thing you know, the ring announcer, Dave Kitch, comes out dressed as a Canadian Mountie. It was hilarious. He introduces the new champ along with his partner in crime, R.C. Dupree, the high-stakes champion. They go out, Argos praises himself, says he has one man from Canada he wants to thank, and you hear the Bret the Hitman Hart music start playing. The whole place was like, what? No way. The Hitman's here. Music cuts. Argos says, that man from Canada I want to thank is R.C. Dupree. Got the crowd all riled up. Then he started, hating on the fans, saying he's not here for them. He's there for himself. And no one's going to stop him. He even had his own security out there with him to protect him being the champ. And next thing you know, the man with War in his name, Wardlow, came out and was ready to get his hands on Argos before their main event match on Saturday. Was able to take out RC, had Argos on his shoulder at one point, but he was able to weasel his way out of there. And it was a nice way to kick off the night.
Argos is nothing but professional. The parties that he throws are amazing. There was one year or two ago in Whitehall after they won the tag team titles. They're unbelievable.
The Team Storm takeover.
Yeah, they're unbelievable. I'm sad that I missed that. Plus, if the Mountie was there, what more do you need?
Oh yeah, it was great seeing a Mountie come out. It was hilarious.
Nice.
Then to kick off the action was the first match. It was Bulk Nasty against John McChesney. And going into the match, before the bell rang, John said to the crowd, he's like, who wants to see me lift this big bastard off at the ground? And all match long, he was trying to get him up, but Bulk was just too big, had most of the control for the match. Finally, McChesney took out the knee of Bulk, was able to get him up for like a spinning cutter type move that the English professor would have been proud of. Hits the super kick and got the 1-2-3, and McChesney gets some momentum going in his way. One more thing I want to hit before this. There was a little girl in the crowd. She had a dry erase board that she was using as a sign, which I've never seen before at a wrestling event. So you could change it to whatever you want it to say. Well, she wrote on it, Bulk can't read, because we all know Bulk Nasty cannot read. And after the match, Bulk saw the sign, was so mad that he couldn't read the sign that he took the dry erase board from the girl, broke it, and made the little girl cry. So what a dastardly move that was by Bulk.
That's just ignorant. Yeah, that's just
right.
I mean, it's one thing to rip signs out of, Andrew's hand or, other people's hands and rip them because he's putting letters together that make sounds like blah, blah, blah. But to break a child's dry erase board that she probably worked her paper route to get that money, it's just, he's more than dastardly. He's a weasel. He really is. He's
a prick, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Ignorant. But like I said, good win for McChesney.
Nice. Good. Yeah, great to see McChesney back in the win column, and what a great match to start the action off with.
Oh, yeah, nonstop action. It was real nice. That led into the second match of the night. It was for the Tag Team Championship. You got your champions of the main event who looked very locked and loaded, ready to go, against a new formed team in the Regulators, Jock Sampson and a man that you've had on the podcast, Chris LaRusso.
And I bet you they were down and dirty.
It did get pretty down and dirty. Once again, like most of, I don't want to rip on TME. They've been a great tag team. They both have great looks, great move sets in the ring. But somebody I was sitting next to mentioned to me that most of their matches are always like a free-for-all. Not a lot of tags sometimes, and that's kind of how this match started out. Everybody was just, going 100 miles an hour to start out. Finally, the ref was able to get some order, and TME had control to start. And next thing you know, Officer Dan Murphy made his appearance at ringside, blowing his whistle, trying to get in the head of the tag team champs. And that was able to get Jock and LaRusso the control. And they had the tag team champs reeling for a little bit, but then finally TME was going for their finish, and Dan Murphy, the officer, pulled down the top rope. Gannon Jones Jr. went flying to the outside, looked like he hit pretty hard. So the ref went outside to check on Gannon, and next thing you know, David Lawless shows up, takes the cowbell that Jock Sampson always carries around, bashes Duke Davis in the head with it. Jock Sampson's able to get the pin, and we have a new tag team champions in IWC in the Regulators.
So, wow, Law and Order as well, helping out the Regulators. Maybe a fearsome foursome to watch out for in IWC.
Yeah, very interesting group of guys to get together, but their first try, they had success, and they brought home some gold.
LaRusso's he's legit an heir apparent, though.
He is. He looked well. Jock was, his typical self, hates the Pittsburgh crowd, being an Ohio boy. But yeah, it was very upsetting to see TME lose. They lost this match in a down and dirty way. Hopefully they'll get back to being locked and loaded for next month and try to get a rematch.
Again, they can hate me as much as they want. I'm glad they're not champs. They're not the fraternity. I will bring it up forever and ever. They beat the fraternity, so I don't like them.
They have a good look, but I'm not 100% behind them either. But they are a great team. They work well together, and they were a good stronghold. So we'll see if the Regulators can live up to what the main event built for this tag team division.
Nice.
After that, they announced that the show for next month will be August 10th. It's called Cage Fury. That will be headlined by 2 big cage matches that I will get to here at the end. And also they announced that Sean Spears, AEW's own, formerly known as Ty Dillinger, in WWE will be in attendance for this show in August. He was supposed to be there Saturday, but as you know, there was an AEW show, and he ended up getting the big victory in a 6-man tag. So we'll see if he can take that momentum into Elizabeth here in August.
Yeah, and spoiler alert, I actually know this one already. Sean Spears is going to face off against the Man Dime. I'm really excited to see that. That's been all over. You can't get on Facebook without Man Dime not being on Facebook, posting that he's ready for Sean Spears.
Oh, yeah, this will be an interesting matchup. It's going to be the perfect 10 against the Man Dime, battle of 10s, battle against guys who think they're perfect. So it should be a good match. I can't wait for next month.
Nice, again.
So then, but real quick, I want to stop and say, I want to give a shout out to, like you said, on the Shamrock Cup recap podcast, that there was a lot of wrestling Saturday, where there was Evolve on the WWE Network and the AEW show. So I want to throw a shout out to Britt, who was in AEW, former IWC Women's Champion. Shout out to Sean Spears, since he'll be at IWC next month. Also, at Evolve, there was Anthony Green, who looked good in a loss, but still looked good on the WWE Network. He's been in IWC. And Anthony Henry was there. He's been in there. JD Drake has been a tag team partner with Anthony Henry. Was on the Evolve show. Looked good for being a big guy. And then I want to give one more shout out to Shotzi Blackheart, who had a match at Evolve, and she took a beating. But she kept getting up, and man, the highlights I saw of her match, she ate some chairs. She dove headfirst into 5 chairs. Great. I want to see her back in IWC again.
Yeah, Ethan and Sylvan are huge Britt Baker fans. But Shotzi, the couple times that she was at IWC, Ethan just made his way over to Shotzi. He's enamored by her. There's something.
It's the green hair.
It's something going on with those two. I don't know. But Shotzi did a lot in Rise too, and she's a hell of a worker. I agree.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to see her back in IWC.
Like I said, she looked great at Evolve, and she looked good when she was at IWC, so hopefully we can get her back to Elizabeth a couple times. But back to the show from IWC was next the Women's Championship match. It was Katie Arquette against Zoe Sky, who's kind of like a skater girl type wrestler. She came out to Sum 41 music. They said she was a stronghold in the division to help build the division. She never held the IWC Women's Gold, though, so it was nice to see her get a chance. Good back-and-forth action. But real quick, before the match started, the whole entourage, the Arquette entourage came out, LeBar, Calvin, Mandime, and Katie. And Mandime grabbed a mic and said, hey, he wanted to thank those 3 for all they've done for him. He has nothing but respect for them. But he said there was just not enough spotlight for all 4 of them to shine, that it was time for the Mandime to go out on his own. He left.
I like that. I completely agree with him. He is a star in the making without a doubt. So nothing against Katie or Calvin, LeBar or whatever, but Mandime needs his own spot, and I think he's going to excel.
Oh yeah, he's been great from what we saw ever since he started last year as a rookie, and we'll see what the future holds for him with his first matchup against Sean Spears next month. But back to the women's match, it was back and forth action. Zoe Sky looked good. This was the first time I've ever seen her. She had a lot of cool, innovative moves. She high flying, some lucha stuff. She was going all crazy. But of course, the entourage got involved with LeBar and Calvin, who looked great last night, by the way. As always, Calvin always looks great fashion-wise. But there was a little scuffle with the ref. Got him kind of distracted, and out of nowhere, Katie was able to hit the spear into the Falcon Arrow to get the 1-2-3 to stay the queen of the IWC women's division.
Yeah, and I could see this for a while. Nothing against Zoe, as she's on Rise as well. She did have some spots in IWC as well. But Katie's got a stronghold on that title right now.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So we'll see who her challenger next month will be. After the match, though, there was a quick vignette for the Lebanon Dawn, another rookie that just graduated from the Wrestling Academy there. And it'll be interesting to see. I haven't seen him in action. The way they're kind of looks like they're trying to build him towards something. So we'll see when he gets in the ring next. And then they get a shot backstage of the Regulators, Jock Sampson, Chris LaRusso, along with Lawless and Order. And the 4 of them are in the back celebrating their win. Jock's telling us all to eat it, that they won like they said they were. And out of nowhere, TME came busting into the locker room and started laying out all 4 of them. And the camera cut before, we could see a clear top winner back there. But it looked like TME got a little retribution against the Regulators.
So rematch in the making for sure.
That's what I'm thinking. But we'll see what next month brings. Then after that, we had Josh Alexander against Andrew Palace, and Alexander came out still with Wardlow's Super Indie Championship, and he wants that title, so he didn't give it back up. Palace came out looking to get some retribution for Wardlow, a man that he's had a few wars with, and this was definitely the match of the night, and I think it's going to be a candidate for match of the year. a lot of hard hitting, a lot of near falls. 10 minutes in, there was a nasty move you thought was going to end it, and a person would kick out. Next thing you know, 25 minutes goes by, and these two guys are just still going at it. But finally, the walking weapon, Josh Alexander, was able to hit his finisher and get the win.
I can't wait for the Wardlow-Alexander match when they're both fresh and they just both tear courtside sports down. Center sports. Yeah, you know what I mean. Oh, when they rip down that arena, I can't wait for that. That's actually a match that's been on the docket for a while since Alexander had to leave IWC, clear his visa and everything up, and he's never lost that title. So if he wants to hold on to that sumbitch, he can hold on to that sumbitch.
But that was the thing. After the match, Wardlow made his presence known a second time tonight and was able to get the upper hand. Didn't really take out Alexander, but was able to get him away from that title far enough that he claimed back his baby, the Super Indie Championship.
Well, my spot was worthless then right there, so all right.
After that, we had the intermission where, it's nice to go out. You can talk to the wrestlers and all that. If you've never been to an IWC show, go. Great talent. You can meet some guys, and a lot of them are real nice class acts, that's for sure.
Tell me you gave Jenny Plummer a hug and a big happy birthday kiss.
I didn't give her a hug, I must say, but I blew her a happy birthday kiss. She has the same birthday as my sister, so, I'll never forget what her birthday is.
Good call.
So, but I gave her the shout out.
Nice save on your sister as well.
Who cares? She's a Red Sox fan. I don't care.
Okay.
Back from the intermission, though, we had a good Fatal 4-Way match that had Artigus Cougar of the Culmination, the American Daredevil Johnny Patch, Gory, and Impact Wrestling Zone Ace Austin. I believe it was his IWC debut. He looked good. Big guy, good big name there in Impact against three strong talents here in IWC. It was mayhem to start. Everybody was laying waste to everybody. Culmination got involved to help Cougar, but Austin was able to end up super kicking the other two Culmination members to get them out of the way. At the end, everybody started to hit their finisher. You thought one was going to win, and the next one came in and broke it up. And in the end, it ended up being Gory hitting the Gory special on Johnny Patch to get the 1-2-3.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I was excited that you said Gory, but even if we would have said your boy Johnny Patch as well, either one of those two should really, if they would ever change the Super Indie to like an X Division type of title, those two would put on one hell of a match over and over again. It's a feud that could go on forever, and I wouldn't get sick of it.
Oh, yeah, those two looked honestly, all four looked great, Austin and Cougar included. It was a great match to come back from the intermission, got the crowd going. It was really cool to see. At the end of the match, though, Patch started walking away towards the back. Ace Austin got to the back, and Gory was in the ring, and all three Culmination members started to gang up on Gory. And in the end, Johnny Patch made his way back to the ring, helped clear way of the Culmination. So I don't know if that's going to be building towards a tag team match for next week. But Patch was able to save the guy who pinned him, and they still both raised each other's hands, two crowd favorites. So like I said, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where this goes.
Nice. And you still have Keith Hott there that really hates Culmination, so you could throw him into the mix coming down the line too, I bet. So.
Oh, yeah, the Bearcat, he's another crowd favorite here in IWC. So, yeah, maybe a six-man match would be good too, so who knows. Yep. After the Fatal 4-Way, they showed a video promoting their show that will be in Wheeling, West Virginia at the casino there, the Mountaineer. Yeah, I believe it's in September, that show, and Kevin Nash will be there, so they were kind of hyping that. So
I can't wait to go to that. We've already put that on the docket to go. That's a different arena we've not been to. I've seen Kevin Nash probably 1.5 million times. So, whatever about Kevin Nash, Justin Plummer, was a swerve that you got on me, and I will still hold that over on you. But I can't wait to see the Mountaineer. I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, that's one casino I've never been to. I've been to the Rivers here in Pittsburgh and that. But, it's going to be interesting to see the setup they have for that. And speaking of the setup, I wanted to throw out, they had that new ring entrance the last few months. On Saturday, they went back to the old school one, like in the corner of the arena and that. And I wonder why that was. But, still cool. It was on iPay-per-view. You can go back and go on their network and see the show if you didn't attend it. And but yeah, just something I was wondering when I walked into the arena.
Yeah, nice segue for that, because I was going to try to figure out where we were going to get it in. $9.99 a month, guys, gets you IWC's pay-per-view network or whatever. And I've talking to a couple guys that have this already. They go back all the way to like 2015, I believe. So you can catch up on everything. $9.99. It's well worth it. If you haven't seen Pittsburgh wrestling at its finest, damn it, this is where you need to start with IWC.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get it. I want to see. You and Ethan were big Jimmy Nuts fans, a former IWC World Heavyweight Champion that I wasn't able to see in action. Then he got hurt. So, yeah, I want to go back and see some of this older stuff. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, you get early Britt Baker matches as well, along with Raylan. And it's a conglomerate of superstars that you know today in many different federations. So $9.99, it's a steal.
I've heard that price. That is a steal, for sure.
Right.
Next off, we got the high-stakes championship match where Team Storm's own, the champ, R.C. Dupree, defending against one of your favorites, somebody you had on Can Crushers here, Dan Hooven.
I love Hooven. We actually we had a quick spot with Hooven, but we need to have the whole sit down. And Hooven's one that I want to be in Pittsburgh at a bar and drink beers and let the mic go, because he's got stories that could probably blow people's minds.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Saturday, he was very, ready to go. He came out first, looked pumped to go. He wanted to get that belt off of RC, who has yet to actually defend the title since winning it, I think, back in February, March or something.
Yeah.
So, Dan was ready to get his hands on RC. Next thing you know, here comes RC wearing a neck brace. Came out, did his whole stick, though, with his entrance. But as he got in the ring, he walks over to the ref and passes the ref a piece of paper. And what it was is a doctor's note saying that he was unable to compete due to the beating that he took from Wardlow at the start of the show during the Celebration Extravaganza Bonanza ceremony. And
damn, he's got a doctor's note already from that?
Yeah, with the intermission and everything involved, I guess he had enough time to run to the Med Express down the road and was able to come back, had the neck brace. Justin Plummer comes to the ring. He's looking at the piece of paper, holding it up to the light and all that. But unfortunately, he didn't want to do it, but it looked valid. So RC was it was said that he was unable to compete, and he was able to hold on to his high-stakes championship for another month.
Damn it. So Hooven really didn't have a match. So Hooven's got to be number one contender for that, for Cage Fury, without a doubt.
You would think. So, yeah, we'll see if that match gets announced. But, yeah, RC's just able to keep the gold for Team Storm. Incredible.
Unbelievable.
Without even defending it.
Iron R.C. Dupree with the neck brace.
Yeah. After that, we got the Man Dime, Elijah Dean, fresh off separating himself from the Arquette entourage against somebody that he's known for a long time, the country hammer, Jamie Jameson.
Yeah, they went to school together, maybe 20 years, bro, that they know each other. Because they're not that old. It's not 30 or 40 or 50, but who knows?
And, there was A lot of trash talk all month long, building up to this event on social media. Hammer time versus dime time. So, there was a lot of anticipation going into this match. Since the man Dime separated himself from the Arquette entourage, he had his own valet, the Dime Piece, a beautiful blonde, with him holding a mirror. He's able to, kind of looking like Lex Luger, looking at himself in the mirror. So that's a nice new touch for the man Dime. It was a back and forth match, near falls for both competitors. Man Dime was playing to the crowd a little too much. That got Jamie Jameson control, but the man Dime was just able to hit a spinning elbow and a running knee, and he got the win.
What I got from that match is she is gorgeous, because I have seen her picture already. Yeah.
She is good looking, so that's a good piece for Man Dime to have. And after the match, he got on the mic and was saying how perfect he is, and he threw out a challenge, like you said, to Sean Spears for next month. So that's a match I can't wait to see.
Yeah, without a doubt. This card's already setting up. If we're setting it up, it already looks great. So we'll see what Plummer, if he listens to us.
Oh, yeah. Next off, we got Dylan Bostic against another IWC rookie, Zach Nystrom. Bostic was out first, brought his Moneyweight Championship, and, as always, his trusty steel chair. Then Nystrom came out. This is the first time I got to see him in action firsthand, and he has a good look to him. He looks like he could be something here in the future for IWC. Held his own for the most part against Bostic. We had the typical fan chants, as always, and just in the end, Bostic was able to get the ref. He grabbed his Moneyweight Championship, was going to use it as a weapon. The ref took it from him, went to throw it out of the ring, picked up his steel chair, bashed Nystrom in the face as dastardly as he can be, and Bostic gets the 1-2-3 to keep a little streak going for him.
Was it CJ? Did CJ mess this one up again?
No, it was not CJ. It was the one that I forget his name, but he is definitely
the
not
worst.
The
worst.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, it was that ref.
All right, the worst ref. All right, we don't name
one
his.
Thing I
we don't
wanted to
name
say,
his
though,
name because he's horrible.
Yeah, exactly. But one thing I wanted to say, I want to hear your reaction about this. After the match, Bostic, gives the fans the bird and all that. But next thing you know, he grabs a mic and he says, "Ladies, I'm single and ready to mingle. Hit up my DMs." So my question is, what happened to Ray Lynn?
What? No
Yeah.
way.
Swear to God.
I'm going to reach out to Ray Lynn now. I mean, not right now, but in the future here in seconds to find out. I mean, Ray Lynn brought him to what he is now. She was the main reason. If he kicked her to the curb, he's got nothing but bad news coming to him.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting to see if she comes back to IWC and if that's going to play into Bostic's future here. So who knows?
Unbelievable. Ray Lynn was always my favorite of those two anyway.
Yeah, she's a great worker also. And definitely
douchey.
not a prick like Bostic.
Not as douchey.
Yeah, not that great douche Bostic is, but I just couldn't believe it. But after that, we had our main event for the IWC Heavyweight Championship. Your champ, Jackson Argos, against Wardlow, looking to get his second title back that he lost last month in dramatic fashion. To start the match, Argos was jumping in and out of the ring, staying away from Wardlow for probably a good 5 minutes. Finally, he couldn't run forever. Wardlow got him back, was kicking the shit out of him for a good 5-10 minutes. And there was a ref spot. CJ got knocked over, causing RC to come in, trying to help Argos retain. Still, Wardlow was able to take out both of them until Josh Alexander makes his presence known and was able to lay out Wardlow. And Argos was just able to get like 2 fingers on top of Wardlow for the pin to retain his IWC Heavyweight Championship.
My question is, did RC still have the neck brace on?
He did. Some fans gave him slack, like, hey, I thought you were too hurt to wrestle. As he was getting ready, there was a cool spot where he had his IWC high-stakes title. Argos had his heavyweight title. Wardlow was on a knee, and they did like a title concerto, getting hit on both sides of the head with 2 different titles. It was a cool spot that I've never seen. Still, Wardlow was able to kick out. Also, I forgot to mention that John McChesney made his presence known during this because after he beat Bulk Nasty, he made it known that he wanted the winner of the Argos-Wardlow match at Cage Fury. So with Argos getting the win, he's going to face McChesney next month in a steel cage. And then Plummer came to the ring after Alexander and Wardlow had to be breaking up by the entire IWC locker room. That it's going to be another cage match for the Super Indie title, Josh Alexander versus Wardlow. So 2 big cage matches next month. Get your tickets. Go to IWC.com. Go to the Facebook page. Get your tickets. It's going to be 2 great cage matches for the 2 biggest titles in the promotion.
I'm just picking my mouth up right now. We're going to see Josh Alexander and Wardlow in a cage, fresh, for that Super Indie title. I know.
Oh, yeah.
I know you love Argos. No disrespect, but that should literally tear that building down.
Yeah, even though Argos is the world heavyweight champion, I think that Wardlow and Alexander should be put on last because after their match, I don't know if that cage is going to still be in one piece, or hell, even if the ring's going to be in one piece, or hell, even if the whole entire arena is going to be in one piece. So it's going to be an interesting match, that's for sure, next month.
Plummer on his spotlight said the next 18 months he's going all in, double or nothing, or IWC is going to be all out, broke as hell. And you can see Plummer's
they tear that building down.
Yeah.
They got nothing. So, I'm excited. I can't wait.
Soup, thank you for covering this. I love that we did 2 different events. I don't want to say I want to do it more because I love hanging with you and doing it, but if this is the way it's going to be, just finding out what happened at IWC with a hell of a correspondent like you for Can Crushers, damn, I missed a show.
You missed a good show, so August 10th, can you make it?
I'll be there.
All right. Yeah, you can't miss these 2 matches. So, but hey, let me do my stick. I'm the tax man. You keep coming to IWC. I'll make sure you don't get audited. Support your local wrestling. Support AEW. Hell, support WWE. Support Evolve. Like we said, Saturday there was a lot of great wrestling. Even Sunday into Extreme Rules. Some pretty good wrestling. Support wrestling. It's great. Thank you, Mark, and Crusher Nation.
Before you're not out yet. Before I let you go, how did you like the cash in?
They need Brock at SummerSlam. He brings eyes. He's box office. I'm with you and Paul. I'm not always a big fan of what they do, but you can't. He brings eyes.
Eyes are money.
Eyes are exactly, and Lesnar is money. Heyman, leading him the way. Those 2 are unstoppable. We'll see where this builds.
All right, Soup, we'll let you go. My taxes are good, so we'll catch you on the flip side.
I'll see you only for wrestling, not for taxes.
We didn't have cable when I lived in New York. Honestly, I didn't know what cable was until I moved to Pennsylvania. We had 7 channels, 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, and 13. Channel 3 was for the Atari and VCR hookups, and then there were the UHF channels. WWOR, Channel 9 out of Secaucus, New Jersey, had WWF programming on Saturday, and I never missed an episode. Whether it was the midnight show or the early morning show, which had switched time slots a time or 2, I was sure to tune in to watch all the squashes with the hopes of a feature match or a babyface chasing off a villain who unnecessarily had worked over an enhancement talent. Usually it was something considerably less intriguing. When fans screamed with excitement following a magnificent Morocco match, I went through the possibilities of his potential enemies that were coming out to even a score with him. Rocky Johnson? Pedro Morales? Superfly Snuka? It turned out all the fuss was because Captain Lou had slipped on a meatball that had fallen out of his sandwich. Once, I thought I missed an episode, but thankfully I was mistaken. I walked around the corner from my house to my mother's bakery and came to the door just as a woman was placing an order for later in the week. When my mom asked when the lady wanted to pick up her order, the lady answered, "This Saturday." I stopped in the doorway. "Wait," I said. "Today is Saturday?" I asked, panic-stricken. "No, honey," the lady said, smiling. "I'm picking something up this Saturday." I was relieved that I hadn't missed a WWF wrestling program. But when it came to any other territory, my brothers and I only knew what we saw in magazines. My oldest brother, Dom, wanted to watch Starrcade 1983. He was eager to see the match for the World Heavyweight Championship between Ric Flair and Harley Race. We knew that we watched wrestling on TV, but if we hadn't heard of cable, we certainly had not heard of pay-per-view. So we figured if Starrcade wasn't on one of our 7 channels, it had to be on one of the UHF stations. Dom slowly sifted through each channel, trying to squint through the snow and fuzz to see if he could decipher a wrestler or a ring announcer or a referee. If a station was in commercial break, he waited until the break was over, or he came back to the channel later. Once he realized Starrcade 83 was not on free television, he resolved himself to the fact that he'd have to wait about 3 months for the coverage in the magazines. Although UHF channels didn't carry Starrcade, they did open our world to more wrestling programs. U68, the non-cable having person's version of MTV, took a break from music videos to present an hour of Jim Crockett Promotions wrestling. Suddenly, my brothers, my friends, and I could discuss the highlights we saw of Magnum TA digging a jagged stick into Tully Blanchard's head. Although we knew about the endless good versus evil of Dusty Rhodes versus Ric Flair, we could finally see the nuances of Flair's grand entrance and showmanship until the moment when Dusty would slap him back into reality. While these are the highlights of my early memories of JCP, I don't remember much at all of the first time we watched their program. It took some getting used to. We learned who the good guys and bad guys were and tried to remember everyone's name. There wasn't a clear white canvas with blue aprons and ropes in the order of the colors of the American flag. Just about everything in the NWA ring was black. But first and foremost, it was a wrestling program, and it was fun. And it was different. It also had a reputation and a buzz behind it that made us decide we would tune in again. It was conditions similar to JCP's that made me, along with all the fans in Tampa, answer with a resounding yes when Cody Rhodes asked if we would join him in AEW this fall on TNT. I had some issues tuning into the card in the first place. Bleacher Report's app continued to crash on my phone. I found a website that linked to the event, but that also kept crashing. I finally got on Bleacher Report's website on my laptop and watched it that way, and it worked fine. I wasn't too happy with how things were starting, but I was able to separate my Bleacher Report technical difficulties from AEW and give the card a chance. Britt Baker has come a long way in a short time. It seems like not that long ago she was a journalist in IWC who was lured into the ring by the constant mocking and physical threats of Ray Lynn. The multiple-time former women's champion of this Pittsburgh territory teamed up with Rio to take on Shoko Nakajima and Bea Priestley in what was a fast-paced, hard-hitting match that left Baker with a possible concussion, according to some stories. The pace throughout the card was fast and dangerous. I understand AEW wants to be competitive in the pro wrestling business, but there were moments during the event that made me uneasy as a fan. Nakajima and Priestley earned the win. The women did a nice job of making this a clean match while also leaving the door open for potential rematches and feuds. In a 6-man tag team match, I learned that Jimmy Havoc likes to give the middle finger. He teamed up with Darby Allin and Joey Janela, and they faced Sean Spears, formerly known as the Perfect 10, Ty Dillinger in WWE, MJF, and Sammy Guevara. Like the previous tag team match, this match aimed to showcase some dazzling moves while forwarding an easy-to-follow story. MJF and Sean Spears, although teammates, fought amongst themselves, with MJF doing what he could to irritate Spears, including holding up 10 fingers, which got a pretty big reaction from the crowd. AEW made several subtle references during the course of the evening to WWE, but none of it seemed out of place or malicious. It seemed good-natured and in the spirit of fun and competition. In fact, in an interview, Jim Ross dismissed the notion that AEW is a threat to WWE. Ross is loyal to his current employer and good at his job, but it's refreshing to hear his realistic opinion of AEW's place in the wrestling world. And speaking of JR, his commentary was different but still entertaining. Gone are the days of, "Good God Almighty!" we'll probably never hear, "This is AEW. This is the promotion where we wrestle." And that's okay. JR is in a different place, and pro wrestling is in a different place. I believe his passion and love for the business was still evident in his work Saturday night. He called the action and shared time with his co-hosts, and he made the night about AEW, not himself or the past. Only once he referred to a quote by the big cat Ernie Ladd. Brandy Rhodes surprised me during her match. Her pre-match promo about doubting herself was believable enough for me, not knowing anything about AEW or her, to question if it was a shoot. Her tears and her promise to herself had me pulling for her. And as our good buddy Al Snow always says, it's about making them guess what's real. I expected a babyface match, or I thought Allie would have been the heel. But then Awesome Kong, who looks exactly how she sounds, came to the ring as Rhodes' corner woman. Allie had a dragon sleeper on Rhodes who tapped to the hold, but Kong was distracting the referee. Later, Rhodes hit a bionic spear for the win. These are some pretty heelish tactics by Rhodes, but in case I still wasn't convinced that, yes, she's a bad guy while her husband and brother-in-law are good guys, Rhodes attacked Allie after the match. It took a save from Aja Gong, who looks exactly how she sounds, to get Rhodes to stop her attack. I thought the two Kongs would shock us all and form a team, but the segment ended with them staring at each other until Rhodes pulled her Kong back. A bye in the upcoming Tag Team Championship tournament was at stake in the triple threat match between Dark Order and Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus and Jack Evans and Angelico. AEW seemed to be following the formula of trying to put on exciting, meaningful matches. Marco Stunt accompanied Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus and got involved in the match when he pushed Angelico off the ring apron and hit a Hurricane Rana on Jack Evans. Instead of calling for a DQ, the referee allowed the action to continue but ejected Stunt. I'm still not totally sure how the rules work for AEW matches. Perhaps like WWE, multi-competitor matches are no DQ. Andre the Giant tripped Hulk Hogan in front of the referee during Hogan's title defense against King Kong Bundy. The referee didn't disqualify Bundy, he made Andre leave. So I wasn't terribly confused or put off by the referee's decision. I read an article on Can Crusher's Facebook page that said AEW will try to avoid DQs and strive for clean finishes. That's refreshing to hear. Then, if they ever go for a dusty finish, it'll be that much more of a surprise. The Can Crushers first saw the Lucha Brothers at a club on the south side of Pittsburgh. It was the sort of pro wrestling you see in movies where there's no barricade between the wrestlers and the fans pound on the mat. The Lucha Brothers stole the show that night at the Rex Theater, and they did the same at AEW's Fight for the Fallen. I'm a sucker for hand signs and wrestlers who struggle with English but still exude confidence and have a high coolness factor. The Kongs looked exactly how I thought they would, but Kenny Omega looked nothing like what I expected. I anticipated a Jesse Ventura look with a feather boa and shades and brightly colored tights. His match with Shima had me the most worried for the safety of the wrestlers. Omega took a power slam and seemed to leave his head out. After hearing about the Young Bucks for months, it was good to see them in action. JR called them the best team in the world, and I think they were definitely the better team in this match. Dustin Rhodes still has something left in the tank, and I'm glad he's working, but his style didn't match that of the Young Bucks or his brother. While Cody and the Bucks mesmerized with dazzling swantons, Dustin stuck to the familiar Rhodes uppercuts. The Bucks told the story of a cocky team who will stop at nothing to win, even if that means some trash talking and mocking. I thought the matches were very good. Much of my enjoyment had to do with seeing a wrestling promotion for the first time. My main criticisms would be for the sheer number of super kicks and the dangerous stunts that routinely ended in false finishes. AEW has been ambitious and gutsy in their early goings. At the end of the night, Cody and Brandy donated $150,000 to the victims of gun violence. That's a sign that ownership, management, and the workers are committed to the longevity of this product. Unlike JCP, they gave away a free supercard to gain fans. And even though I and some other fans may have had issues with the Bleacher Report app, at least we didn't have to fiddle with rabbit ears to get a better picture. In today's English Tip of the Week, we'll take a look at Allowed, A-L-L-O-W-E-D, and Allowed, A-L-O-U-D. When do you use Allowed, A-L-L-O-W-E-D, and when do you use Allowed, A-L-O-U-D? A-L-L-O-W-E-D, allowed, means someone has given permission. Allowed, A-L-O-U-D, means someone has spoken in a manner that is not quiet. Earlier, I mentioned that Andre the Giant was given the boot from ringside after tripping Hulk Hogan. But then Andre and the Brain went to President Tunney's office and applied Andre for a manager's license for the following Saturday night's main event. Was Andre A, allowed, ALLOWED, or B, allowed, ALOUD, to be at ringside for King Kong Bundy's rematch against Hulk Hogan? The answer is A, allowed, ALLOWED. When Magnum TA dug the splintered chair into Tully Blanchard's head and demanded that he quit, the match would end officially when Blanchard quit by A, ALLOWED, or B, ALOUD. The answer is B, ALOUD. Remember that allowed, ALOUD, has the word loud in it. And in one final example, Gorilla Monsoon threw Bobby the Brain Heenan out of the Manhattan Center at the end of Raw. Bobby Heenan was not A, allowed, ALLOWED, or B, allowed, ALOUD, to come back in the building. The answer is A, allowed, ALLOWED. He did not have permission to come back in the building. And with that, class,
you're dismissed.
This is the heir apparent Chris LaRusso, and you're listening to the Can Crushers Podcast.
So what a weekend full of wrestling. AEW, WWE, MCW, IWC, OVW, MLW. Just so much is going on, and we want to bring as much of that to you as we can. But right now it's time to wrap it up. Time to go take a little break, take a little nap, take some drugs, and rest up. No garbage tip this week because I'm not a garbage man for the next week. So, and Paul's not here, so no garbage tip. A couple events coming up, guys. On January, yep, drugs are still working. On July 20th, Rolling Thunder, Imagine Wrestling, Jerome, Pennsylvania. You're going to see Animal, Paul Ellering, the War Kings, and Manny Fernandez will be there. If you get a chance, go to Jerome and see those guys. Also coming up, the Iron City Homecoming. It has now been moved to August 2nd. One of the guys probably had a contract issue, but it's going to take place in Monroeville, Pennsylvania. You'll see the likes of Billy Gunn, Christy Hemme, Pillman Jr., Funaki, Corey Graves. You can punch him in the face if you want to. No, you can't. That's just a joke. Sam Adonis and Jerry Lawler. On August 16th, one of my favorites, Stomp Out Cancer 3. It's going to be taking place at the Stronghold Arena in Lamont Furnace, Pennsylvania. A Bullet Club member will be there. And next week, we are going to announce how you can get your name in the running for these 2 general admission tickets that we're giving away. And then, as you heard at the beginning of the show, there is now a benefit for our friend, our pal, our commandant, our comrade, whatever. August 24th in Clearfield, Pennsylvania. Skin Deep. It all goes to Eric Shea, guys. Go back and listen to the beginning of the show once again. Just if you skip through, Shea, this is all for you. And guys, again, I want to tell you, if you want to do something for this, if you want to send me some stuff, reach out to us. Facebook, Instagram, cancrusher69@gmail.com. We're going to put a basket together. We're going to give it to them from Can Crushers. That basket's going to sell, and then we're going to stick that basket. No, we're going to give you the money, Shea, and hopefully it at least gets you a case of beer or a tank of gas or something. However we can help, we definitely want to be part of it. But we will go through our thank yous, and I'm going to go lay down. So, Pro Printing and Office, LLC, 814-834-3006. David All, he's printing Paul a book, apparently. No, he's done some pretty sweet things. He got the first ever shirts that we have for Can Crushers. So, yeah. Collar and Elbow, hats, hoodies, sweats, tees, all your fan apparel. Guys, these shirts, the English professor and I were talking about them this weekend, actually. Any wrestling show I go to, I wear these now. I really do. They're breathable. They're made perfect. They're probably the best fabric shirts I have. And the cool sayings that they have on them, the cool logos. You have retro stuff, so it looks like a Nintendo game. You have, I have a Dusty Rhodes one that's really cool. Paul has gotten a Job Squad one. The English Professor has Mean Gene Okerlund's. So they just all wrap in, and they just are wonderful shirts, and they're just great. Make sure you check them out, collar and elbow, and if you type in OBW, you get 10% off. I've said that you can find us on Facebook and Instagram. It's at CanCrusher69. Our email is the same thing. It's cancrusher69@gmail.com. And you can hear us on Alexa, Boxcast, Overcast, TuneIn Radio, Google Podcast, iTunes, Bullhorn, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and of course the WrestlePost app. Not funny this week, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just hurting. Again, our website is https://cancrusher69.wixsite.com/cancrushers. Go there. You can find all our episodes. You can go back and start from the beginning. You can listen to the garbage from the gist. Guys, thanks for everything. This has been a long show. I completely understand that. But when you have lots of wrestling and the Can Crushers are covering you, we want to give you your gists. So remember, just because you're trash doesn't mean you can't do great things. It's called a garbage can, not a garbage cannot. Don't forget, this week, Friday, we already have the spotlight recorded, and it is ready to go. If you heard the first promo, you know who it is.